In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 things I wish I knew when I started betting. Lessons that would have saved me years of mistakes and accelerated my success dramatically. So welcome to a brand new series I'm launching today. The idea is that every single day I'm going to share one message, one insight, one piece of wisdom about how I see sports betting, betting community, life, investing, relationships, mindset, basically everything I'm thinking about and want to share with the betting community and the world. So if you're new to this channel, let me quickly introduce myself. I'm the founder of underdogchance.com and I've been in this betting game since 1998. This is where I made my first bet. Which means I've spent more than 25 years building betting models, talking to other sports bettors, testing systems, making mistakes, losing, and figuring out what actually works. So I started as a bartender, working until 3 in the morning, using my betting profits to buy Bitcoin when it was dirt cheap, and I'm still a big believer in Bitcoin. I think this is maybe the end game, and eventually building businesses and escaping the 9-to-5 grind more than a decade ago. And now I help serious bettors who wants to use my way of betting, Google spreadsheets models, data-driven models, projections, and most importantly, the mindset that separates winners from those who are stuck for years. I think this is the most important thing. And in this daily series, I'll share what I was thinking in the morning, insights from the day before, lessons learned, mindset shifts, books I read, so real unfiltered thoughts from someone who's actually, let's say, walked this path. And on my channel, I also share betting picks, betting models, you have Google Sheets training and much more. But this series is a little bit different. This is about the thinking behind everything else, okay? And I want to start with 5 things I wish someone had told me when I started betting, because here's the truth. One of the coolest things about being in sports betting world and sports betting community for 25 plus years is that I've made almost every mistake you can possibly imagine. And now I know what actually matters versus what just complete fluff. So these 5 lessons will move the needle for you, whether you want to go full time like I did or just win more consistently than you are right now, okay? So first lesson, and this one nearly destroyed me early on. Build betting skills, mindset, and lifestyle together. So all together. Don't sacrifice everything for the game. Because, you know, when I first went all in sports betting, I completely ignored everything else in my life. So it was just numbers, stress, watching games, building betting models, building systems, and this was on a repeat, day after day. I remember there was 3-month period where I barely left my apartment. I was so obsessed with perfecting my betting models that I stopped hanging out with friends, stopped exercising. I was single. I barely ate real meals, so just lived on energy drinks. I was drinking whiskey and whatever fast food I could get delivered. I thought this was what dedication looked like, but what actually happened was I burned out completely, and my decision making got worse because I was mentally exhausted, and ironically my betting results suffered because I wasn't thinking clearly anymore, okay? And you need a balance. You need to build your betting skills and your life at the same time, because sustainable success requires a sustainable lifestyle, okay? Think of it like this. If you're training for a marathon and you want to run, you don't just run 20 miles every single day until the race, right? So you have rest days, cross-training, proper nutrition, because your body needs recovery to actually get stronger. And you cannot do a similar thing in sports betting as well. So your mind works the same way in betting. So if you're constantly grinding without breaks, without other interests, without taking care of your physical and mental health, you'll hit a wall that's much harder to recover from than any losing streak, right? Second lesson, and this one cost me probably 3 years of progress. So always try to learn from someone who's already done it. Don't try to reinvent the wheel like I did. So I was incredibly stubborn and tried to figure everything out alone. No mentor, no real blueprint, no guidance from anyone who'd actually succeeded long term. But honestly, back then there were no bettors who used data-driven models. So just years and years of expensive trial and error. And I thought asking for help was somehow cheating, or that I need to prove I could do it myself. But looking back, that's just ego talking, okay? I remember spending 6 months building what I thought was a revolutionary baseball betting model at the start. only to discover later that I was making basic statistical errors that someone with experience and knowledge could have spotted in 5 minutes. I could go to my professor back in the college, but if I had swallowed my pride and learned from someone who'd already been there, who'd already made those mistakes and figured out the solutions, I would reach financial freedom much more, right? This is for sure, okay? So think about any other skill you've learned in life. Did you teach yourself drive without any instructions, or let's say, did you have someone show you the basics first? Or maybe did you learn to cook randomly, throwing ingredients together, or did you, I don't know, follow receipts from people or the books or courses who actually knew what they are doing? Betting is not different, except the cost of mistakes is your actually money, right? Not just burned dinner. So this is the difference. Third lesson, focus on one thing until you're an expert. Stop jumping around like a betting tourist. Too many bettors jump from method to method, from handicapper to handicapper, from sport to sport. And that's honestly the fastest way to stay stuck in mediocrity forever. I see this all the time, constantly. Someone tries NFL for 2 weeks, doesn't immediately become profitable, so they switch to, I don't know, NBA, college basketball, I don't know. Then after a bad week, they're looking at soccer, esports, I don't know. Then they hear about some tennis system or new betting model, and before you know it, they're at the beginner level again. And I was guilty of this too. I remember one year I was simultaneously trying to build different betting models at the same time. I was changing them quickly. When 1 week was not good, I was changing them, and I was spreading myself so thin that I wasn't really good at any of them. It was until I decided to focus exclusively back then on baseball for an entire season, really going deep on advanced statistics, pitchers, and that I started seeing consistent profits. Mastery requires depth, not breadth, okay? It's better to be elite at one sport than mediocre at 5. Think of it like learning languages. You could spend a year learning basic phrases in 10 different languages, or you could spend, I don't know, that same year becoming fluent in one language that actually opens doors for you. Fourth lesson, okay? So fourth lesson, and this one is absolutely critical. Fix your financial mindset before you bet big, because winning bets won't help you if you don't understand money. If you don't understand cash flow, investing, basic money management and principles, if you are still living pay to paycheck or carrying credit card debt, then even if you start winning bets consistently, you'll find ways to sabotage with yourself. Okay, I learned this the hard way when I had my first really good betting year. I was up about, I don't know, 25 units in a couple of months, feeling like I'd figured everything out. But instead of treating that money responsibly, I started living like I was rich, buying expensive things. I don't know, eating outside, partying, and if you cannot make real money and save real money in real world, you will not win in sports betting, because sports betting is harder game, okay? And by the end of the season, I'd blown through most of those winnings on a lifestyle inflation, and when I hit the rough patch, I was right back where I started, okay? So the lesson here is that sort your finances and financial mindsets first. Understand how money actually works. Learn about investing and wealth building, because this is the game, not betting. Then use betting as one tool in your financial toolkit, not as your financial savior, okay? And fifth and final lesson, bet where you can actually win, not just where you love the sport. This is one of the biggest mistakes bettors make. The game is not betting. The game is money and business. Sometimes your favorite sport is actually the hardest market to beat, because you're emotionally attached, because you think you know more than you do, because you watch it for fun, and that clouds your analytical judgment. I spent years trying to beat soccer at the start because I followed football or soccer. I watched every game. I knew all the players. I knew all the teams, all the storylines. But the reality was that soccer, for me back then, was very hard to beat. It was sharp competition, and my emotional attachment was making me overconfident in sports where I should have been more cautious. So it was until I started focusing on sports and markets where I could gain a genuine edge, even if they weren't as exciting to watch that my results really improved. Okay, so find one sport, league, or market where you can develop a sustainable advantage, where your skills and approach give you the best chance to win. Then stick with it, even if it's not most entertaining option, right? So these five principles are exactly why I've been able to do this successfully for 25 plus years, why I was able to escape the 9-to-5 world, why I can help other service bettors build sustainable long-term success. So if you want the shortcut, or if you want to avoid wasting years on trial and error like I did, you can see exactly how I apply these principles every single day. So if you like this message, hit like, subscribe, and visit underdogchance.com to learn more about my way of betting, my way of thinking, my sports betting models, mindset, and much more. So thank you for watching.